Good morning. My name is Maria, and today I would like to present our paper called Management Technology for Institutional Environment in Pandemic Times. First, I would like to talk a little bit about the Internet. And as we know it today, the Internet started as a military project between the 60s and 70s to share information between the bases in a safe way, but it only reached its commercial use in the mid-90s. As we also know, the rise of technology during pandemic times has grown ever since the discovery of a new virus in China called SARS-CoV-2. And it has caused several social changes overall in the way we work and the way we study, and mainly in our educational system. So in this paper, we want to examine what was the impact that this virus caused in our educational system. And also, we would like to present the stages of development of a mobile and web application that aim to improve the management of people allocation in a certain space, more specifically an educational space. The main idea of our mobile app is to use QR codes distributed in spaces such as classrooms and libraries inside a university, so that it's possible to carry out monitoring in real time. When a professor or a student attends a specific classroom, they will have to scan the QR code present physically in that location so that the number of people inside the classroom will be updated in the app. And this way, the app will be able to count the number of students present in each space. And as for the classes, every time a class ends, the automatic registration of students' attendance will be sent directly to the professor, removing his or her concern to be registering them. The app will also be able to give the professor the possibility of getting some feedback from the students. So every time a class ends, the student can easily rate their class out of 5 stars. As for the web part, the responsible for the institution or university will be able to add new users such as professors and students. Also, every time a class ends, the professor will just have to click a button where it says End Class, and then the administrator will receive an alert so that he or she can make certain arrangements and disinfect the place. So how necessary are these app and web applications? Well, we applied a questionnaire to validate the problems that we found in the hypothesis raised during the project. And overall, 27 professors and 52 students from the Politécnico Institute of Viseu were interviewed, as the students and professors will be the two future users of the mobile application. And as we can see, we questioned the professors whether they would like to know what students have to say about their classes. And 24 professors answered that yes, that would be a nice to have feature. And only one professor answered that no, and 2 were indifferent. We also questioned them whether they would like to have an automation in the process of obtaining the attendance list, as this will be a feature present on the app. And as we can see here, also 24 professors answered that they would like to automate the process of obtaining the attendance list, and 1 was indifferent. As for the students' questionnaire, we asked them whether they would like to rate a professor's class out of 5 stars, and as we can see, 34 students answered that yes, they would like to have that feature, and 15 were indifferent and 3 answered that no. And then we questioned the students whether they would consider downloading an app where it would be possible to check the number of people inside a classroom using a QR code, and also evaluate a professor's class. And as we can see, most of students will consider downloading such an app. So what exactly will our system do? What are its functional requirements? Well, the features will differ from user to user. So here we have a quick description of what our system will provide for the app user, more specifically for the student. So the system must provide a list of upcoming classes. He should also be able to request a reset of their password and see information about the class such as professor, date, time, place, other students' class rate, subject, and description. This information will be updated on the app by the professor and will be available for the students to see. Also, the system should allow the student to rate a professor's class from 1 to 5 stars every time a class ends. As for the functional requirements for the professor, the system should also be able to provide a list of upcoming classes and give the professor the possibility to add and edit the description of the class. He should also be able to attach exercise files to classes so that students can download it and publish announcements in the community area. The app should also allow the user to export files containing information about the class attendance list or send this same file via email. As for the web part, the system should allow registering of new users and perform validation via a confirmation email. The administrator should also be able to add new places that belong to the university, such as libraries, classrooms, and etc. And as I mentioned earlier, the system must alert the administrator if a classroom is highly busy with an urgent disinfection alert. The system should also show statistics about the university overall, so number of app users, number of internal places, and etc. So our system is currently in the prototyping and implementation part. It is being carried out using the Dart programming language and the Flutter framework. As we can see here, this is the first screen that appears when a user downloads the app. Here we also have the student login screen and the recover password screen. And as we can see here in the login screen, the user will have to type their email and password. The password will be set by the administrator, but the student will have the possibility of changing it. Then here we can see what the student home screen looks like. So this is all in Portuguese, but we can see that here it says today classes and then a list of upcoming classes. Down here in the student's home screen, we can see that it says notifications and then some notifications that can be published by the professor. And when we click in a card such as this one or this one, it takes us to a screen containing information about the class. So here we can see when it starts, when it ends, the duration, and what shift it belongs to. It also contains information about the place, the professor, and the students enrolled in this class. And here we have a button that says Enter Class. This will allow the user, the student, to scan the QR code. And then the number of people will be updated on the app. As for the web application, it is being implemented using HTML, a document format that we use to write documents for the web. And to make everything look nice and appealing to the eyes of the user, we are using the CSS style sheets. So here we can see the home screen for the administrator. And then here we have the statistics screen. So the user will be able to filter. As we can see here, it says room 21. Monday, it was not too occupied. Then Tuesday, Wednesday, and so on. This chart will allow the administrator to see what are the places and at what times they are being the most used. And down here, we can see the alerts. So every time a classroom is being highly used, the administrator will receive an alert in his web page. So what information could we gather after all this? Well, we saw after collecting the survey data that both professor and students are very open-minded about the application that is currently being developed. We believe that informing the users about the current number of people present in a room will be not beneficial only for the administrator, but also for the professor and for the student. The professor will have an automation in obtaining the class list, and the students will be able to better organize their studies using our app. By giving the possibility for the student to rate a professor's class out of 5 stars, we believe that we will encourage the professors in developing better ways of teaching. We would like to thank VCT for funding this project and Polytechnic of Viseu for their support. Thank you.